What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 199 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller. And, of course, the Reverend Jared Petty.
Doki doki, friends. So excited to be here. Right before episode 200.
Right before
the spectacular.
The big 200.
Miyamoto's coming in.
Yeah, that's right.
Spencer.
Recording on the moon.
Yeah, we're recording on the moon, hence the Tacoma.
Just like Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins.
All right.
We're headed to the moon. It's going to be fun. Greg Miller, let's get back to you for a second.
Hi, how you doing?
I introduced you. Usually you have some
brap. I usually say my line. Yeah. Talk about Mac and me.
Your classic line.
Exactly,
all of that stuff. But today you sounded a little bit dead. Why is that?
It's Wednesday before Game Awards on Thursday, before the Kind of Funny Games Showcase on Saturday, which means you and I are trying to finish the Kind of Funny Games Showcase. Not some 40 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, we got the final asset in. It's a time warp. It'll make sense in a second. And then we need to film some stuff tonight. You need to edit some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We need to have 2 versions of it. There's an email that I'm not thrilled about that just happened. Just little stuff like, no, it's not. No, don't worry. It's not. It doesn't affect you at all. It probably doesn't even affect us. I'm just not thrilled about this showcase email, but we're almost there. I haven't slept since end of November-ish, probably Thanksgiving, and ready to get this thing done.
All of that aside, I cannot wait for this show.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the best nights of our life.
10 a.m., twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. I have finished the edit of it. I need to add all the things that we haven't put in yet. So finish is probably not the right word to put there, but it is, I'm very proud of it. I feel like this is the most professional we've ever been.
Yeah.
We're going to do next week on Gamescast a more like in-depth look back when we can actually talk about everything. Sure. So I don't waste it all now, but I'm just saying I'm very proud of the work that we did. I'm very excited for everybody to see this.
And the cool thing is, if you're a freebie listener, Monday, you're watching this on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, you're listening to this on your podcast service of choice, you can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames right now and see the showcase.
Watch the whole
and
thing.
See if it was a huge disaster and something went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it can. No, that's a good thing to say. This is going to be amazing. I think it's awesome. You know, I got choked up, obviously, watching the first cut you gave me here. I got through the intro of it. Like, yeah, it's super awesome. I'm so glad we did it. It's the thing I'm most proud of in my career. But we can see the finish line, and I just want to fucking land this plane.
Do you know what is at the finish line, though, Greg Miller?
Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Now, here is the thing. Do you know how much willpower I've had
I don't know how you did
to have to edit with this thing sitting next to me?
Yeah, it's been a disaster of the fact that this thing arrived, just as we were like, all right, it's the final deadline. So we had 2 days within the office. You had a weekend with it at home. Not even. You had a Friday night with it at home, right? And then we went and filmed everything Saturday, and then it was just
There's
like
a lot of rendering, a lot of exporting.
And I'll tell you, it's on the one hand, I know Smash Brothers is your game, right? In the same way a Crash game is you, Smash Brothers is you.
Smash and
And
Crash
so,
connection.
for as horrible as this is to have arrived while you have to edit the Kind of Funny Game Showcase, I'm so glad that you're editing off-site and took the game with you.
Yeah.
Because in the back room, as I pull my hair out and deal with this and write scripts and negotiate and all this jazz, and Nick's working on graphics, like, if that was there, we would all stop doing stuff to go play it on the TV.
There's an enormous TV and 8 controllers.
We'll get to all this real quick. I want to say this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast each and every week right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. We get together, talk about video games, all the things we love about them. You can get the show early by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. We would greatly appreciate it if you did that. For just $1, you can watch the show live as we do it, and you also get to see a pre and post show. If you can't watch it live, that's totally cool. For a couple more bucks, you can watch it whenever you want early on Friday, and that also includes the pre and post show. So you can do that too, or get the show for free on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames Monday at 9 a.m. Shout out to Patreon producers Matthew Failer, Matthew Failer, and Travis Barrett, and also shout out to all you beautiful people.
Hey,
we're gonna put some names here. Cool, Greg.
by.
You ready for that?
You kind of failered at that shout out right there.
I need to confirm with Kevin. And
that's his nickname, Epic Failer.
I love it. I love it.
There we go.
Now we can get back to it. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Everyone is here. I've been playing the living hell out of it. I want to say I've put it in probably 20-something hours already.
Son of a bitch. The showcase could have been done a long time ago.
It's during the renders. It's during the exports. That's the beauty of editing, where it's like there's a lot of time of you can't do anything. You can't work.
Yeah, your hands are tied. Yeah,
I guess I have to play Smash Brothers.
Now, here, I'll answer a question for Jared Petty.
Yes, sir.
You said, did he unlock everybody?
Yeah.
Tim Gettys is so fucking crazy He took it home night one that we were all playing here, and
Yeah.
then he took it home. He unlocked everyone that night. To have the
Hell
roster.
yeah, dude.
Did you do it by straight playthrough, or did you do
Here's
it
the
by
thing.
targeting their unlocks?
There's multiple ways to unlock
Right.
all the characters in Smash Ultimate. If you were trying to get everybody quickly, you can do it in about 4 hours, I would say. Maybe even less than that. The best way to do it. So pretty much when you play versus matches, for every versus match you play, in the first couple of them, like I think it's like you play one versus match, you unlock someone, and then you have to play like 5, and then it unlocks them. But it hits a point pretty quickly that you just need to play versus matches, but every 10 minutes a challenger approaches. But the way to trick the system is you do after that, you hit that point, you play a match, a versus match, and then close the application and start it up again. You don't need to restart the Switch. Just hit home, hit close, and open it.
So once
it
I
loads
see
pretty quickly.
So once I start to see the characters slow down,
Pretty much like after you unlock like 3 people,
It moves to this 10-minute thing?
You move to
Moves
this
to
10
the
minute
10 minutes.
thing.
So after that, it's just time limit. It's not number of matches. Okay.
After that, it's this. You pop back in. You do a match. I played a bunch of 1-stock matches.
Right, yeah.
And that's the thing is like it wasn't bullshit. If you want to be really fast, you could just sudden death, kill yourself, and like
Right.
speed it up.
Yeah.
But like I was like, I'm just gonna keep playing around as I get characters, play as them. Until
Yeah, I think it
the
was
next
Brawl. I
round.
spent like hours just jumping off cliffs so that I could unlock everybody. Yeah.
And I had so much fun unlocking all the characters. Of course, it's kind of tedious to have to close out and do that. Really didn't get in the way all that much. Like I think it adds a total of like 25 seconds maybe per character, which adds up when there's 70 characters. But yeah, got them all unlocked the first night. That's just a little pro strat if you're trying to
pro
get
tip
all the
here.
characters for like
All
a
right.
party or something. That you
Sure.
can do. But yeah, I had such a good time. When I first booted up the game, we played it here for a while. But when I took it home, I was like, I need to play through classic mode. Like that's always been like the first thing that I do with the Smash Bros. Game. Just pop in, get it done. Had such a good time with that, and then went in and unlocked all the characters.
Okay, so I got to ask you this right away. What's you've had a lot of hands-on time with this game before it came out. What's the biggest surprise? Now that you got the full
Good
version.
question, Jared.
Biggest surprise. I mean, I'm not too surprised by anything. I
right.
feel like I had a good. I knew a lot about this game
Yeah,
going
you
in,
did. Yeah.
and especially going to New York and being able to play as extensively as I did. Anything that I would have been surprised about, I was already surprised
Okay.
about. I guess I was really surprised by the dope ass box. So, Cool Greg, can you cut to the one real quick?
Got to the one, cool Greg.
So we got the normal box, but then on the inside, there's an alternate cover
All
that
the
has
characters.
everybody.
That way you can
It's
put
super
X's
cool.
through the
Look at
faces you unlock them.
Oh, sure.
Exactly. I didn't do that though, but.
Nerd.
Real quick, I wanted to talk about the controllers, actually. Smash Brothers, you're allowed to use a plethora of controllers. The most exciting thing to me, it's not the most surprising, is that I finally got to put my Wii U to rest. The
Thank
Wii
God.
U forever has been my Smash Bros. Box, similarly to how before that my Wii was my Smash
Right.
Bros. Box. And the problem with the Wii U is that you needed the GameCube USB adapters, you
Right.
needed a bunch of GameCube controllers,
Right.
you needed the gamepad to be able to navigate the menus of the
Yep.
Wii U. So traveling with the Wii U to play Smash at people's houses was a disaster.
Yeah, it's total pain.
Now, the Switch makes that shit easy. I love it so much. Cannot wait for this, smaller footprint future that we now have for
Sure.
the rest of our lives.
Sure.
With Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Okay.
So with the controllers, the GameCube controllers, people were a little bit worried that with Smash Ultimate weren't going to be compatible. And Sakurai was like, fuck that. We're going to keep pushing this till we die. So I was excited about that. You can still use the USB connector that was compatible with Smash
Excellent.
Wii U. They re-released it now. It's still super hard to get. It's already sold out, but whatever.
But the
You
same
can get
one
it
still
Amazon.
works.
Same
Time to
one still
grow
works.
up and use the Pro controller,
Then there's another
everybody.
option is that you also use the Pro controller.
Which is a good controller.
Great controller.
It is a good controller.
Here we go.
But I mean, again, Smash and GameCube controllers like go hand in hand, and the game controller is just so beautiful and like it is almost as if the GameCube controller was made for Smash Bros. Even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
But just the way the buttons are mapped and all that, it's just like it feels so perfect and it just feels so right. And you have 20 years of history. What are you doing?
We're literally talking about the controllers.
You need them?
Yeah.
Yes. Stupid Kevin.
But the thing about the controllers is just like you get so used to this, and
Yeah.
for a long time, everyone's like, "Oh, like fuck the like what Greg Miller's doing right now." After like, let's grow up and move on to the Pro controllers. There is
Fair.
that argument, but it's like I was forced to do that
On the
back in
record,
the Wii.
on the record, I love the GameCube controller,
Yeah.
and I love playing it with Smash. But as popular as the Switch is, as popular as Smash is, I want to be able to play natively wherever I am. And the problem we've run into at demos is, all right, cool guys, here's Smash, great, and they hand me a Pro controller. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I've played how many decades with the GameCube controller now? I don't, or not that many decades,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? How many years with
Decades.
it?
Yeah, I mean,
How many
two
years
at
with
this
it?
point.
What? No, really?
Right?
Am I that old?
I mean,
no.
No, not yet. 2001 was made.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting close, almost
Anyways, though, I want to be able to drop in and know what I'm doing, and wherever I'm going to be playing, they should at least have the thing Kevin just tried to pawn off on us, the Joy-Cons put into the Joy-Con grip,
Jesus
right?
Christ, I fucking hope not.
Hey, you know,
That
I'm
is
just
an
saying,
abomination.
worst case scenario, I want to play that.
You know, I
don't
have experimented with that.
Here comes Jared's idea too.
we
Jared's
go.
got this new idea where he's just going to play with one Joy-Con, and that's going to be his thing.
So I
There's always
came
that
in-
guy.
Psychopath.
We don't like him.
I came in the other day. Well, why would you like me? Why would anyone like
don't
me?
know.
I understand that. No, I came in the other day and there were no Pro controllers. There were no GameCube controllers left. So I grabbed that's all there is the Switch because we couldn't even get two of them synced and put it on its side. And I've learned something through that process. One, I certainly didn't do terribly during the very few matches I played. Didn't do great, didn't do terribly. But I was like, if I lose using this controller, I can blame the controller. And when I win, I won using this controller, and everyone knows it. So the lows are less low, and the highs are even
Much higher.
Because
Because people
I
do
don't
look at like
see a
how
lot
is
of
he
downside
doing?
to
How
this.
is he
Here's
doing
my
it?
thing. My argument is and always has been when it comes to Smash. The controls aren't fucking rocket science. They're not complicated. The layout of this and the layout of this are the same damn thing.
Yeah, but it's very
it
different
is
mentally.
a little hard to smash
Mentally.
when you're using a Switch controller turned on its
No,
side.
it's harder. It's
and you have no
you're-
second
No,
stick.
I think he's saying Pro Controller.
Oh,
to
you mean
GameCube.
those?
But even then, though, it is still. It's like you have the functionality.
It's the
you're
DS
playing
controller.
with like
Yeah.
you're. I'm not even going to talk about the program. Nobody should play that way. If you have to, sure, whatever. But the viable options here, we're talking about the Pro Controller, we're talking about the GameCube controller. And it's just like,
both good.
They're both good. They're both equally good. We're used to GameCube controller. But I was broken from this a long time ago with Brawl. I've told the story before that I had an imported version before it came out in America, and there was a tournament in America before the game came out. And I was like, me and Curtin were like, we're going to practice and fuck people up with the new characters. Because we've been playing, but I knew that the tournament was going to use the Pro Controller, the Wii Pro Controller. Very different Pro Controller. The peanut-shaped one.
Yeah, I remember
So
that thing.
I got super used to playing with that. But again, it's the same button.
Did you guys win the competition?
Curran did. I did not.
Curran's
I got
really
pretty
good,
far.
apparently, huh?
I got pretty far. But the thing with it is, like, I feel like I broke that in my mind so long ago that, like, at any of the events or whatever, give me a Pro Controller. It's the same fucking thing.
Well, I was ready to adopt the Pro Controller for this one, but then I found out that it was going to be backwards compatible with USB, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm fine. I've got the peripheral already. But then I saw that 8BitDo thing, and then I was like, oh.
So here's where we're at. I'm all over the place right now, but we got there's the Pro Controller that works great with this game.
Yeah.
I can confirm I've played 10 hours of Smash with the Pro Controller.
You're
That's
selfish
great.
and took it, but from what I got to play in the office with it, yeah, I've already adjusted to. Like, I've got my mind set right, and it's starting to feel natural.
Yeah, it's super awesome, and there are some advantages to it over the GameCube
Oh, what are the
controller.
advantages?
Advantages. It's pros and cons in a way that, like, that, like, they both. I can say the same thing about both of them.
Pro Controller? Joy-Cons? It's never occurred to me.
Damn.
They are pros and cons.
They
Anyway,
know it. The Joy-Cons are definitely the cons. But just the way that these buttons are just more like it's quicker to shield versus the GameCube that is more of a
what a baby.
Because the thing with the GameCube,
hot baby.
That spring there.
A hot
Sexy baby.
Yeah.
It's a sexy baby. Is what I'm saying.
There's the spring, but like on it was like an analog.
Yeah.
On GameCube, where Switch doesn't have analog. It's digital, so you don't get that level of like being able to control the shield or stuff. So Pro Controller's kind of better there, but it doesn't really matter.
sense.
But again, Pro Controller, super comfortable in your hands, lasts for freaking ever.
The best part of it. One of the best parts.
It has HD rumble, and it has rumble at least wirelessly. It's just like, which we've never had with Smash because the Wavebird didn't have rumble. But then GameCube controllers, I mean, are you kidding me? Like these things just, they feel so good in your hand.
My all-time favorite controller.
And I love it so much, especially because it feels like it's made for the game that you're playing with it. Smash in this case, absolutely. The big ass A button, a little B on the side. It's just like, and the octagonal gate.
Yep.
I don't know how to fucking say that, but you know what I mean?
Nailed it. You
Even the
crushed it.
camera nubs, just in that right spot for the flick. Just
I
the
just love it,
flick
man.
for the smash.
I love
That
it so
smash
much, and I
flick
love
right there.
I love the bounce of the spring of those
feels
guys. So
good.
I absolutely love
Feels
that.
good.
Still, so far, my controller of choice when it comes to Smash. Although Pro Controller, super good. Now the thing for me though is I want a wireless solution because there's way too many damn wires. You talked about the 8BitDo wireless.
I
adapter.
ordered one. It hasn't arrived yet. but I ordered
$20
one,
from
yeah.
8BitDo comes out the day the game comes out. I'm very excited to get one and play with that because I'm hoping that that's just going to be my answer to all this. But you can then take a GameCube controller, plug it into this little tiny nub, AA battery, just one, and then you just get to play.
Oh, that's great. How
wireless
much do you get out of the
wherever you
battery
want.
life?
We'll see.
Ballpark-ish? Okay.
We'll see.
I didn't know if there was like a statement from that.
No rumble though. So
I took
it's
a
like-
risk and just went and grabbed one.
I mean, what could go wrong?
Yeah. 8BitDo's an amazing company, though.
Yeah,
They're the
good
ones
stuff.
who made that little
tiny
SNES thing you love, right?
they make a lot of great
so
stuff.
far, their products to me are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them. I really think this is going to be awesome.
I play
But my
Android
problem
games
there
on my phone with one.
Is that there's still a wire. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just like that's still way too much. So that's where Power A came in. Power A put out this wireless GameCube controller.
looks sexy.
It looks sexy. It looks just like this. Looks like a dream to me.
But how does it
Show
feel?
it to the people, cool, Greg. So very, very, very similar to an actual GameCube controller.
Okay.
You can see the D-pad on the wireless one is a little bit bigger, a little bit more modern.
Okay.
Otherwise, not too many differences. In the middle of it, we get the Switch exclusive buttons, the home button, the
Nice.
snapshot button, and all that. And on the top, you can see that it also added a
Oh,
L1
another-
and R1
yeah.
together. So you can actually use it as a Pro controller. And in fact, this functions straight up just as a Pro controller.
Can I ask you a dumb question?
Yes.
This is officially licensed. This is all
Officially licensed,
Nintendo's on
Power A.
board. They're now mad about it.
Nope, totally on the up and up. It's $50.
How does it connect? Is it just like a regular
It's a Pro
controller?
controller.
Okay.
Oh,
Just
you did
for
say that. My
Yeah,
apologies.
it's straight up a Pro controller. Now, what's cool about this to me is I was like, ideally, I was like, I want to just buy a fleet of
Mind if I
these.
feel it?
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And when my friends come over, we just use these.
Sure.
We can play them with Mario Kart, play them with whatever. That was a big problem with the Wii U that I had is we'd have the Wii U, we'd have all this stuff, and then we'd have a fleet of GameCube controllers for Smash.
Yeah.
But then we would also need 4 Wii U controllers for Mario Kart because the GameCube controllers aren't compatible.
Right.
So many problems being solved here with Smash Ultimate.
I like this.
Now, the problem with this is it's not quite right.
No.
I'm very, very, very upset to say that it is like a 8 out of 10. And
What's wrong with it?
I want the 10. I would prefer using the Pro controller over
Because
this.
it's a great controller.
And what's wrong?
Yeah. What's wrong with
It
this one?
feels just a little too cheap. It's so close to feeling like a GameCube controller. It just doesn't.
I'm doing the taste test right here.
Yeah, because it felt pretty
It's
good.
so close, and
It
the-
feels weird to have the
that's
buttons be
fine.
the L3 and R3 there. That felt strange.
I'm
that I could
fine
push
with that.
down on the
But then the
stick.
other problem is you don't get that same
that's
click
Sure.
that you do. So that bothers me. And my biggest problem is the thing that I like most about the GameCube controller is where my fingers, the ergonomics of it, where they fall, and the battery pack.
the battery pack's in the way.
Super gets in the way.
You don't have that. Hold them both up by his face. Hold them both up by your face. Cool guy, show the face of Tim with the thing so you can see the battery packs. Like, so rotate them.
I'm very confused by
the back.
what Greg
So
said.
people can understand what you're saying if you're not holding it.
Got confused there.
See, and then
Sorry.
like rotate it so they're your eyeballs the other way, away from your eyeballs. They are your eyes. They are your eyes. They are your eyes.
I'm really confused.
I have no idea what he wants.
I'm just
Now you're just fucking around?
yeah, a little bit. Sorry.
Anyways, it's not bad. It's just, it's not ideal.
It's not perfect.
Yeah. It's
How,
like-
what about latency and all that jazz?
So that's my thing. I don't know about all that fucking shit. Like, that's
So
not
it
the
feels
type-
good gameplay wise
Yeah,
playing.
gameplay wise, it works. These buttons do feel a little stickier than I want them to.
Yeah.
I'm still trying
See,
to
the
figure
problem
out
is
what
I would-
my airplane controller is for Smash Bros.
I would love to do this, but I'm moving on. I have to move on, Jared. I want to be able to drop into any developer house because this is a big deal. You go to, I've been to so many developers, and then it's like, oh, you want a beer? Yeah, you want to play Smash? Sure. And you walk in, they got like again
Pro controllers.
hodgepodges of controllers everywhere.
Yeah.
I want to be able to walk in and give me the Pro controller, or pull the Pro controller I carry in my bag all the time out. That's why it's got to be that.
Well, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
I think it's a good choice.
If this worked, you could have just brought this with you. And then
No!
you would always have it.
There's a future, and I'm part of it, and it's the Pro
This,
controller.
this is a Pro controller. though.
Yo, Tim, come with me to the future.
I mean,
Stop
I'm already
living in
there.
the past.
I am confirming this is a great controller to play Smash Ultimate with.
So what about handheld, Tim? What's it like
Ooh.
playing with
So here's the thing. We've been talking about controllers a lot, and I
Ooh.
like this. This is a great segue. Handheld, it works. It's fine. The Joy-Con buttons are a little tiny for this type of thing. I haven't flown yet playing this game, and I feel like that's really going to be the thing that puts it to the test.
Was there? We had the embargo. I shared the embargo. I showed the embargo to you and the guys in the team. Was there a thing in there like don't play this outside, don't play this in a plane or anything
It
like
said
that?
be aware of what,
Gotcha.
of what
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
Just wondering if Nintendo was worried about
Yeah.
that.
So I played a bit handheld, definitely not that much yet. And I don't love the experience.
Okay.
But again, it's just because I'm used to it being so big. I played the hell
Get
out of
that Ojo.
Smash 3DS. Huh?
Travel with that Ojo. Start
exactly.
being
Well,
Xavier
yeah.
Woods. Take over the bulkhead.
I love Smash 3D.
But there's something about it just on the screen, especially because it's HD and stuff. I feel like Smash 3DS kind of made a lot of decisions, like the black outlines of the characters that focused on like understanding.
Oh,
this
right. I
on a
remember that,
small
yeah.
screen.
Right.
This it seems a bit overwhelming with the amount of action going on and with like how great this game looks. That things can kind of seem a little small, but it's a perfect Smash Bros. Game portable. Like I'm not going to complain that they didn't make weird concessions and stuff. Like it totally works. I do not have enough experience to like really give an opinion on it yet. But definitely, I'm never going to plan to play in pure handheld mode.
2 other controller related questions following
Can
up
I
on that.
jump in real quick?
You first.
Because I feel you on this, and that's my thing right now. Of course, we're filming this all weird, but going to the Game Awards tomorrow morning. Don't have Smash, but obviously I'll have Smash coming home because it'll be Friday. I'm so stoked to pack the Switch and play Smash, but I'm also packing the Pro controller. I feel like that's like a non-starter for me.
And
I'm
that's
gonna
my
always
thing.
have it on the table there playing.
Yeah, and it's like, the little tabletop mode. I
Yeah.
have my little thing on the plane. I definitely think that playing with a controller, I might even just like bite the bullet and like use this Power A1
Sure.
when I'm traveling. Maybe I'll use the Pro. I don't fucking know yet. Maybe I'll use the 8-bit thing with the GameCube controller. Knowing me, I'll probably do that. But I think that'll work a lot better. But it still doesn't solve the problem of the screen.
Sure, I agree. I know, I
but
hear you.
I don't know. We'll see. And again, that's a small, minor problem for the fact that we got a pure Smash game.
I hadn't thought about what you said about the outlines. That's so important because they did make so many very deliberate design decisions around the 3DS version that make it work. And I hadn't thought about a small screen and the fact that they wouldn't have those same changes. But I do have a couple other questions about this. One, we did gloss over it, but in all seriousness, playing with 2 Joy-Cons, what's it like? I mean, when you're
two Joy-Cons?
Yeah, grabbing 2 Joy-Cons and let's say, because a lot of our listeners are not going to have, they're going to have friends over for an 8-player party, and they're going to have to. Everybody's going to have to grab what they can grab.
Yeah.
How is it just playing on the TV?
Fine.
2 Joy? Is it okay?
It's totally fine.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I prefer 2 Joy-Cons over the 1.
Yeah.
I think playing with 1
one's just
Joy-Con
ridiculous.
is like, people do it though. I mean,
No,
back to
it's like
Brawl, people played
playing
with the
Brawl
Wiimote,
with the Wiimote on
and
the side.
a lot
yeah.
of people did.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, people that are playing seriously, for the majority, aren't doing that.
Right. I'm just thinking more about situations where you're having a bunch of friends over and you don't have 8 Pro controllers or 8
Yeah.
GameCube controllers laying around. What are you doing? The other, and this is related to that question, does this one retain the ability to use a 3DS as a controller the way that the last one did?
I don't think that it does.
Okay.
It might.
I'm just thinking about what people have laying around in case they're having a party and like, crap, we got one more person than the controllers here. Wait, my old 3DS.
Yeah, I don't know if it does.
I didn't know.
I don't think that it
Yeah,
does.
I never
they
looked.
spell a lot of stuff out here in play mode. 1 to 8, obviously on the TV with the Switch. 1 to 8 in tablet mode, showing the Joy-Cons. 1 on just the Switch. Then it talks about the Nintendo Switch Pro controller compatible, Amiibo compatible. I feel like they would have put something. in
Okay,
there.
great. So probably not then. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I know
So-
that's a weird question, but
Again, we're jumping around a lot here, and I know we're talking a lot about
It's
controllers.
Smash Day. Let us
but-
be happy,
but
world.
That's the thing, is like controllers are so important to a game like this, and I feel like it's the little features that they added, and it's the little like quality of life things they added to this game that make it the ultimate Super Smash Brothers game. And I feel like how easy they make it to use the controllers you want. 3DS not counting, and I feel like that's just getting super.
I only brought that weird granularity up because I remember when it first arrived at IGN, we actually had to resort to that a few times.
Yeah.
And that was at IGN, where we had controllers everywhere.
Totally.
So
but when you look at Smash, what this one did, the amount of small little things like on the Wii U version to play 8-player Smash, you would need to have all the GameCube adapters plugged in, like 2 separate GameCube controllers plugged in, and then it was a special Smash mode. You had to go into the menus to get to whatever. This game makes it so easy to just go to Smash, like the mode Smash, and whether you're playing 1-on-1, whether you have 8 players, whether 2 people have GameCube, 1 person has the wireless one person has a Pro Controller, 1 person has Joy-Con. It's like you add up, you can choose your name, and you're just good to go.
and this is all in game. This isn't in a menu.
Yep,
This isn't
it's all
okay.
once you in the
Nice.
character select screen, you can just simply add people, take them out. It's the easiest version that they've had so far.
And my only experience with it has been playing in the office, which we did pretty extensively last week before Showcase really came in to eat our lunch, and that was awesome to see that. And it was awesome when Jared did walked in. He was like, "Oh, can I play?" And like, "Yeah." And we just added the one thing, and then it was like, "How many Joy-Cons?" Oh crap! And then we found the one. And you're like, "Good enough." And like, we were off.
I did okay.
You did okay.
And so, to me, there's things that we all know about Super Smash Brothers. Super Smash Brothers is such a wonderful game. It's a wonderful experience. There's something special about it where it's not just a video game. It is a museum of Nintendo history and celebrating video games. I mean, we now with the amount of third-party characters in this game, and especially now because of Spirits Mode and World of Light and all that stuff, the amount of third-party references and third-party just reverence and celebration that this game adds, like it reminds me that Nintendo is magic. There's very few things you talk about and drop the word magic without it sounding like super corny and weird. And it's like Disney and Nintendo are 2 of the things that just they really understand how to make people feel tingly inside.
I agree.
you know?
I've picked ticked people off before, pointing out that Nintendo's a toy company, but toys at their very best commemorate, educate, and invoke a sense of magic. That makes them meaningful, not less meaningful. I think that's a compliment. And I think that they do create that kind of magical playground. And I think Disney's a wonderful comparison. Honestly, I think Nintendo is even more soulful than Disney at this point at that.
I mean, it's just, to me, the thing that's most special about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the same thing that was special about Melee and Brawl and Smash Wii U, is that it represents a time in my life that no matter where I am, I'll always remember when I first got this game and the moments of every single person around being like, I need to play. One more match, one more match, one more match.
How many times have we done that already in the office?
Already.
Right? Yeah,
and it's just
and
like,
you can hear them screaming in the other room because they're all playing it.
It's right now, they're all playing.
Yeah.
It's so funny that it's like this thing just takes over. And it's so unique where it's like, there'll be games, big single player experiences that are the water cooler moments where you play and everyone wants to talk about it. But there's something about Smash Brothers that, like, whether you're Nick Scarpino, somebody that doesn't really play games, or whether you're Greg Miller, or Joey, who's never played a Smash Bros, she's now fucking addicted.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, totally.
It's like it sucks you in.
There's enough to Smash that makes it not random and not the great equalizer or anything like that, but literally anything can happen in a Smash match.
Yeah.
Like, you're the best Smash player in the office, period, right?
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
All right, fine. I'm the best
You're
player.
the best,
No,
yeah.
I'm not. But I mean, that's the thing, is I feel
gets in my head so much.
Sure, but that's the thing, is that you can still I can still beat you. You're the best
absolutely.
for sure, but I can still get out there and beat you. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing is, like, man, I know I've talked about Smash Bros. So much. I'm going to continue to talk
That's the
about it.
Smash episode.
Because
Celebrate it.
I understand.
Roll them bones.
For me, we did another series. We're bringing up multiple IGN series in this episode of Gamescast.
Everybody, IGN.com is a successful website. You should go check them out.
We did a series of videos that was like, what's your favorite game of all time?
Oh, yeah.
All the editors and video people like had a one-on-one thing where Greg interviewed them about what their favorite game of all time was. Jared Petty's Sid Meier's Pirates.
Oh, you remember?
I remember that. Mine was Super Smash Brothers, and I couldn't decide which one to put. It was kind of a cop-out answer where I'm just like, I don't know what my favorite is. And this game makes it even more complicated to me, where it's like, at the end of the day, I think that my favorite video game of all time is going to be Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Like,
well, I hear you, and stick with me. This has always been similar to me with the Madden games, where people are like, oh man, did you have a favorite Madden? I'm like, oh, no, it's Madden. It's always Madden, right? Whereas, and don't get me wrong, Smash, there was tripping, there's this. Madden, there was a GM mode that did this. I get that there's differences, but for me, especially with Smash Ultimate, which is really, hey, here's everything we've learned. It's like the pyramid, right? Of starting in N64 and building all the way up to this game right here. And that's why Smash always is a fucking moment that you remember where you were for, and you have, you know.
I love what you said earlier about just going into the menus and being able to just jump right in. That kind of quality of life stuff Greg's talking about. You mentioned magic, that's part of it, but the other half of it, you mentioned Joey had never been into it, now she is. It's also about accessibility. It's about anybody can get in. It's about Greg can take you on. And that is reflected not just in the architecture of the matches, but in things like being able to just pop in with a controller and start playing. Nothing separates you from what you want to do in this. And
not entirely true.
Oh,
that's the criticism I have with this, where it's like, for the most part, I'm saying unequivocally, this is the best Smash Brothers game. Straight up, it is. That's not to say it's perfect. That's not to say that, you know, there aren't things the other games did better here or there. And, you know, it's interesting that it's like everyone's here. It has all the characters. It's not entirely true, because it's like so many of the other characters had movesets that are entirely different now than they used to be. So, like, for example, Zero Suit Samus was like my main character in Brawl. They changed her so much in Wii U and for this that I'm like, I would have loved to have that option too. Is that me being super nitpicky and like a baby wanting more when they've already given so much? Yes, but
not a baby. That's you being a student of the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've known this thing for that long and they've changed it. You're gonna have a problem with it.
And it's
I
just
think
like
that's being old. That's the opposite of being a baby. That's being
I just
old.
love it. I feel like there is so much content in this game, which makes it the best, because the content works. And at the end of the day, the multiplayer mode in this is fucking perfect. I love it so much. I have so much fun, whether it's competitive one-on-ones or 8 players or 4 players, whatever we're doing, fucking around. There's so many options in this game that are fun. They did such a good job culling a lot of the bullshit modes that were in the other Smash games and really focusing on what do people like. And they added this thing called Squad Strike, which is fucking
what's this?
brilliant.
What's this?
It essentially makes the game more similar to Marvel vs. Capcom.
This is what we played on a upcoming party mode.
Party mode.
Party mode, by
choose-
the way, live right now. Patreon or YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames. There's a party mode up of us all playing Smash.
You choose a team of 3 or 5 different characters. You can't duplicate, but there's so many Echo characters in this game that you pretty much
Kinda can, yeah.
But you choose, like, let's just say 5 characters, and each stock is one of those characters. So when your character dies, you just keep the fight going. You can't tag in and out. So it's
you can't tag in and
It's
out.
not
Okay.
actually Marvel vs.
Oh,
Capcom.
I got real
That'd
excited
be
for a minute.
Amazing.
Okay.
But no, it is just one by one. But like, I love it. And my friend Curran came over and we played for hours, and it is going to be the way that we play Smash going forward for us, just because like we both love playing as so many different characters and like having that experience of fucking around. But it's like the strategy of you choose your characters, you see who they chose as well, and then there's like another screen that you get into where
So you choose
the order.
You choose your team, and then you start seeing.
But it's like that's
so good.
hidden from them. And it's like there's just so many little meta levels going on there where I'm like, this is an amazing mode. This isn't fucking coin battle bullshit or something that no one wants. This is an actual thing that I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a new standard in the fighting game community.
nice.
As a competitive thing. It's so fucking cool.
It's a really good idea.
It's a really, really good idea.
Can you play up to 8 on that? Like it's
Well, Squad Strike it's 5.
no,
So
I mean, can you play up to 8 players
it's
that
1v1.
way, or
1v1.
just 1v1?
It's 1v1.
That's it.
Yeah, as far as I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 1v1.
I wondered.
But then there's other like just little changes that just really make the game so much more fun in a way that people are actually going to play it years from now. Smash always has a lot of modes. There's a lot, it's like so much quantity, but it needs to be quality in order for it to stand the test of time.
Right.
And I feel like with a lot of the other Smash games, there's always like tacked on stuff. A perfect example, Final Smash is. Final Smash is something, you have them on for a couple times until people get sick of it and they're like, this is dumb. I hate fighting for the ball. I don't want this. The way that they added the Smash charge bar in this makes Final Smashes fun again in our stupid 4-player matches that don't mean anything. If we're doing one-on-one competitive stuff, we're probably not going to have them on.
Yeah.
But the charge bar allows it's 4 players, anything can happen. You get a Final Smash maybe like once every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Somebody gets one. It just adds to the chaos. It adds to the fun. And I feel like that's going to be something that we'll leave on just as often as we
Here
leave
in the
off.
office, yeah.
So it's like all of a sudden, a core feature of the game is now something people are going to actually use.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I love
After a
that.
decade
No,
of not using
because
it.
Smash Ball chasing did get tedious after a while. I kept Smash Balls on a lot of the time when I played, but they did turn into chase.
It changed the game,
Smash Ball, a
you
lot.
know?
Yeah, and this sounds better, frankly.
Yeah.
What about World of Light?
I'll get to that in just a second.
Because I'm worried you're going to end on a negative note.
No.
Okay.
Because to wrap up on the core Smash game, I love it. I love the amount of characters there are. I love the new characters. I love that I don't get some of them. Like it reminds me of playing as like Olimar back in the day.
Who do you not get?
Inkling for sure. I'm
Okay.
like, what the fuck? Ridley is just like, I feel like I'm playing him totally wrong.
Okay.
There you go, Smash Bros. I just love it, right? And Simon and Richter by far my new favorite characters.
Okay.
I'm loving playing as them, but they're difficult to use. They're like Little Mac, where if you're off the stage, you're not getting back on.
Okay.
His recovery's horrible.
All right.
So love all the new characters. Love that we're getting so many new characters.
What I think we've all missed the most important question here, which is how awesome is Sukapon? I mean,
It's been very annoying to me in the single player modes. Actually,
What is it?
Fucked me up. His favorite little fucking pink.
the
Assist
star of Joy
trophy.
Mecha Fight, the unheralded. Sukapon is Nintendo's first fighting game character, and he's never,
Which one does he look like?
He's a pink, little pink robot made out of bubbles.
Wiggler
Kirby.
was a Kirby.
No, if like
Wiggler was
stood
a
up.
Kirby?
Imagine. Do you remember Clay Fighters?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, imagine if a Clay Fighters character didn't look bad, and you
Got
have
it. Perfect.
Sukapon.
No.
So going back to the quality of life stuff and the core Smash mode, the fact that they added rule sets, the fact that you can like go in and make it so that like you can get in 3-stock match if you want just Omega Final Destination stages like off the bat, it's just going to go straight to.
How can you have like infinite or 10 rule sets or whatever?
It feels infinite. I don't know.
Okay.
But like it's enough for sure.
Sure.
It's so great because for some ungodly reason, the default in Smash has always been 2-minute time matches. Nobody plays that way.
Yeah.
People play with stock.
Right.
So every time we'd start the game up, we'd have to go to the
Settings.
rules sets, change the things and all that stuff. I love that now we can have multiple settings that just go in. It speeds everything up so damn much.
That's great. Another accessibility thing.
And that stuff really, really matters. There's a new training mode that is awesome. It's going to be super important to the fighting game community and people that take the shit seriously. They treated this one for the first time like it's a real fighting game in so many ways, where I feel like Sakurai for years has been like, it's a party game, it's a party game. This is the one that I'm like, all right, he's listened, it's a party game, and he understands there is a serious group of people that they need to please in order for the longevity of this game, right? So I'm in love with all that stuff. Then you get to single player stuff. I am so twisted and torn about this. Because on one hand, I can say this game has the best single player content in Smash history.
Hey.
Whoa!
Period. Classic mode alone is awesome. It has so much thought put into it. Every single character has their own path. You face 6 different people, and they're customized in a way that feels like there was so much care and love put into it. When you play as Ryu or Ken, everybody you face, or when you play as they both have different ones. When you play as Ryu, each person is supposed to represent one of the Street Fighter 2 characters. So level 1 is you face off against Ken. Level 2, you face off against Zero Suit Samus, but Chun-Li's theme is playing.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and then level 3 is Incineroar, who's the wrestler, and it's Zangief's theme.
Okay.
And like you keep going through like that, and it's like it's super themed. And also for the Street Fighter characters, instead of playing Smash normally where you knock them off the stage, it's a stamina battle. So they have health bars.
Okay.
So your life's going down.
Right there, I've gotten really, really excited. Is Guile's theme in the game?
Yes. All Street Fighter 2 themes are in the game.
So good.
Yeah. And
I'm never playing any other music.
it's super cool because it's like that level of thought is put into every single character. And playing through the classic modes, I've only done a handful of them now. They have different final bosses. They have different like it's just so much love is put into the same. Like y'all fucking nailed it. The only thing I don't like about classic mode is the bonus game. Race to the Finish is one of the worst Smash mini games I've ever had. I don't know why they keep going back to it. It should have been Break the Targets. It's really upsetting and it's unnecessary. Should not be in the game. Makes it worse. Period.
Full stop.
Full fucking stop. But the rest of classic mode is a godsend. I absolutely love it. Then moving on to World of Light, which is the adventure mode in this game. It's the story mode in this game. I love it.
What?
But there's so much about it that sucks.
No, weird.
Yeah. It's like
Expound.
the idea of it is so great. The when we first saw that cutscene, it's like, okay. And I was hoping we were going to get more. Spoilers, you don't.
Oh.
There's cutscenes. They're not sasatisfying.
Okay.
They're really not satisfying.
So none of that Smash Brothers Brawl
So,
cutscene love.
The best thing about Subspace Emissary was the cutscenes.
Right.
That is not true in this game at all. Subspace Emissary, the gameplay kind of sucked. The gameplay in World of Light, much, much better.
Good.
It's fights. It's straight up, it's event modes with a bunch of gimmicks and weird RPG elements and stuff that when they work is awesome. But when it's weird and tedious and there's just way too many systems at play, it's kind of annoying. It's way more substantive than I expected. I'm about 20 hours in
Holy shit.
just to the World of Light, and I think I'm only like 2/3 done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot. But my problem is it's all over the place. The balance seems non-existent.
Okay.
It'll feel like I'm just trouncing motherfuckers. And then all of a sudden there'll be a couple that I'm like, how am I supposed to beat this?
Yeah.
And I like that because it's like I like the challenging side of it. I just wish that there was a better sense of understanding of pacing, of why that's happening.
Does it
should
feel
ramp
almost
up, and
like?
it doesn't.
Does it feel like a sense of just kind of random puzzles then thrown in a way?
It
Like-
does seem very random.
Okay.
And there's cool little like the world map is so interesting because it's from segment to segment as you unlock. It's like there's fog of war going on, and when you find things that like there's clearly like the Pac-Man maze is there, and then like you'll get into a secret base and it's a clear Metal Gear inspired section.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the things you're like, oh, there's a lot of Nintendo love here. Like there's this little city that you find where every building is shaped like a Nintendo console. Like super fun, cool stuff everywhere. But then when you're doing the battles and stuff, so when you get to a battle, we've seen this a lot in the trailers and everything, but you face off against somebody in an event match where there'll be weird special situations and circumstances in the match to make the character represent a different character that isn't in the game. So Dixie Kong would be a good example. Dixie Kong
is
Spirit,
never a good example.
when
of
you
anything.
face the Dixie Kong Spirit, you actually face off against Diddy Kong in his pink outfit, and he relies on moves that are similar to her moves. And so it actually kind of changes the way that they even fight you. And there's a lot of love put into all these things. Like, it's really cool, like, to see the creative ways they come up with some of them. But then on your side, you have to use all the spirit. Like, you get this, once you beat them, you get their spirit, and they give you different attributes and bonuses and all this stuff. And you could just go in and hit the X button, and it gives you the recommended thing to go into the battle with, so you don't need to really worry about it all. And like, that's all cool. When you get into it and start figuring out, like, oh, here's the play style I like, here's what I want to do, it does get kind of fun and addicting. I do like the loop of just getting the loots and seeing how it affects you. But then that's where that ends for me, where it's like there's so many systems within that that I'm like, this is just too much.
Did you ever find yourself like fighting, you're fighting Diddy Kong in Pink using Dixie-like moves. Do you ever find yourself going, this kind of makes me just wish I were fighting Dixie Kong?
Definitely.
Okay.
But having said that, I understand
limits,
there's over 1,000 spirits in this game. Like, that's impossible to be able to get the characters.
No, I just wondered about that.
I actually kind of enjoy the creative ways that they represent different characters.
Yeah.
For example, like Goombas, in the fight against the Goomba spirit, like, it'll be a bunch of Donkey Kongs, but they're mini.
Oh, that's
so
cute.
it's like you're facing off against like 8, and they're Goomba sized.
Is there a dry bone spirit?
I'm sure. I haven't seen it yet.
They're fucking better
But
be.
I'm sure there
Reggie,
is.
they're fucking better be.
But I like the creativity in a lot of the spirit matches, and I do like how much it allows video game history to be represented.
Yeah.
It's not just Nintendo, and even when it is Nintendo, it's some real nerdy ass deep cuts on stuff. And I think that's super cool. But the problem I have with that is I don't feel like this game is going to be a good education for people that don't know what these things are. For so many people, it's going to be like, well, there's a JPEG named whatever the fuck. I don't know who they are or what game they're from. To find out, like, the most information they give you is their name and what game they're from, but that's menus in.
Ah, okay.
That when you're doing the spirit battle, it totally should
It's not
say what
showing
it's
you.
from, and it doesn't. And I'm like, that's something that I loved so much about Melee with the trophies is like, I felt like I learned so much about Nintendo history because of that. Whereas this just has it. And it's kind of like, it's one of those things where I'm puzzled by a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think even you'd be like, I don't even know.
Of course I would. Nintendo history is vast, broad, and huge.
And it's not
there's so
just
much
Nintendo.
I don't know. Yeah. And
We're talking like obscure,
weird stuff.
like Castlevania characters and obscure like the Metal Gear things.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on there.
Lovely. Tell me Sonya Belmont's in there just to annoy Ega.
I'm pretty sure so many motherfuckers are in this thing. It's insane. So I love all that stuff. But the problem for me is like, as cool as all that is, there's another level where it's like you level up these spirits and like you can take them to gyms, you can take them to dojos to teach them different moves. You can go exploring with Captain Toad and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of it feels half-baked. Like a lot of it feels like, I get what you're going for here and it should be absolutely amazing. It's not. It's really tedious. There's way too many menus involved. And I feel like it could have been simplified a lot. Now, having said that, I'm having a great time with World of Light. There's a lot of good going on there. The boss fights are super cool, super fun, exciting. That's great. Then there's Spirit Mode. Spirit Mode is separate from World of Light, still using the same spirits, but it's kind of like every 5 minutes a board changes that has like 10 different matchups that you can choose from. And like there's countdown timers. Once they go away, you can't get them anymore. Great for looping people who want to keep playing and want to keep coming back and all that. That's cool. But it's the same spirit battles you face in Worlds of Light for the most part. I mean, there's also ones exclusive to the board or whatever. Yeah. But playing through that, it's still the same cool, fun matches. But then there's a stupid ass twist they add where after you, even when you beat the character, there's like this like circle thing that goes and you get a gun and you just shoot through the circle and it's not fun. And it's tedious as fuck. And I'm like, these are the type of decisions that I'm like, why would you ruin such a good game with this? Like it slows it down and there's not gonna be a single person out there that's like, that's my favorite part of the game.
Gotcha.
You know? And it's like, it's really kind of a bummer to me because I'm like, I want 100% this game. There's a lot of things that might hold me back from that.
That sounds a lot like casino game culture stuff in Japan that's made its way in, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It totally is that.
And that's part of life there. I mean, so it may just be one of those cases where we're looking at a cultural piece of decision making that doesn't make as much sense to us as it does to the folks that develop the game and another part of their audience.
Yeah. So long story short, Smash Ultimate is fucking fantastic. Yeah. I love it so much. I can't wait to like really start playing it with everybody and like learning the new characters more.
Again, I guess this only benefits the Friday people. But remember, after the Kind of Funny Games Showcase, we are doing the Kind of Funny Games Showcase after party where we're just playing Smash on Twitch.
Nice.
And that is going to be such a relief, I think, for everybody to actually be able to play and focus and have fun again.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get back to World of Light. Like, I can't wait to keep playing and do it. There's a couple, like I was doing a match against the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh, nice.
And she's fucking killing me, man.
Yeah.
So hard. And I'm like, I love it. Like, there's like moments that I'm like, this is brilliant. And then it's like, then you see some of the other stuff and you're like, why is this here? But man, what a damn package. The amount of content in this game is absolutely staggering. And like I said, I do think it is the best single player content in this Smash.
God damn, man. Can't wait.
Wow.
So
beautiful.
very, very great stuff.
Well done, Nintendo. Yeah.
Well done, Nintendo. So next up, I want to talk about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, continuing the conversation.
Indeed.
Jared, last week you started playing the game.
I started very early on, but now I have collected my first badge and I'm making my way up the highways. Apparently there are routes. There
are many routes.
Lots
They
of
are
map
routes.
navigation
Yeah, lots
in
of
this. A lot of
routes.
difference. The signposts to go this way, go that way.
First off,
yeah.
you were so right. You said last week everybody in the world of Pokemon is really into Pokemon. Man,
Really
you are
into it.
not kidding.
Yeah.
Pokemon-based economy.
It is a
dude.
Pokemon based. I am now leaning full into something I hinted at last week that in fact in this world the Pokemon are in charge and the humans are the servants.
I'm into it.
The humans are
Hot.
under the dominion of the Pokemon. They just don't know it.
Okay.
They're being played. I think that's what's happening.
So, Jared, I want to quiz you real quick because I want to see how much you're actually enjoying this game.
Okay.
What was the name of the gym leader that you beat?
He was the Rock Gym Leader guy.
But what's his name?
I don't know. Rock Gym Leader guy.
Geodude's friend.
Brock. His name was Brock. Brock is what we were looking
Okay,
for.
Brock.
See, okay. That was a test. I just
Barack
wanted to
Obama?
see. No, there's many memes about that. But
Okay.
that was a test to see how like invested you in on
Okay,
this. But
I've
you
named
remembered, you got the
every
Geodude.
character Pokemon that I can, and every Pokemon that I can. So
Yeah,
I
you're
get a little
ruining this
confused
experience
about
for
that.
yourself.
I'm having fun. It's a fun game.
Let him play his games the way he wants to play him,
Yeah,
Tim.
play him how you
You
want.
No,
jerk.
I like it. I got the badge. I kept on going. I'm like, I'm wandering around here, finding stuff, and fighting these monsters. Now I'm curious, okay, because it has been a while since I played. I think Sun Moon's the last one I like dabbled in a little bit, and Black White before that. When I encounter these wild Pokemon in a non-Pokemon Go-esque game, am I still throwing balls at them, or I'm fighting them? Right?
Yeah, well,
Normally,
you fight them and then throw the balls.
fight and then throw the ball. So there's fewer fights in this one.
Yes, there are fewer fights because you only fight trainers in this game.
Yeah,
In
and that's
the-
not what I remember from the other
In
one.
the other games is when you find there's random encounters and they'll pop up and you can either just fight them to their death,
Beat them to death.
which then you get experience for that, or you can fight them till they have slivers of life and then you can throw the Pokeball. You
Yeah.
don't actually throw it though; it's just like an item and you use.
So you talked about Pokemon being a world of wonder, being the best, about to accomplish. Totally see it. I definitely think there's something very strong about having a childhood attachment to this game that will be harder for me to capture because it is about being a small person in a big optimistic world finding your way.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it seems to me to be a game about growing up, about achieving ambitions. And
It's about being the very best.
and there's something really neat about that and about how I love how optimistic it is. I really do like that part of it a lot.
Yeah.
I am genuinely a little disturbed that it's about making animals kill one another.
They faint.
so it's-
Nobody
okay.
dies.
They faint and fly back into that animal is in distress.
And that's the thing is like over the years with Pokemon, they've like changed the wording like slightly every time. So it's like I remember before it was a little bit more aggressive. Would be like they blacked out.
Their
Like, holy
skull's
shit.
been caved in by thundershock.
It's battle bots with living flesh. I mean,
Yeah.
these are gladiators fighting under your dominion. But taking all that silly criticism of it's a freaking video game and nobody's actually getting hurt aside, I do think that there's something really neat about the optimism. It does remind me a lot of Dragon Quest. And Dragon Quest is a series I really enjoy. I'm not as captivated by this because the story hooks are different than what I'm used to getting in Dragon
and
Quest.
I think that's a big problem with Gen 1 of Pokemon specifically is that it takes a little too long. I mean, obviously, it's the first game, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they didn't understand the pacing yet.
Yeah.
It takes too long for like actual story elements to be introduced that aren't just the main quest.
Yeah.
And like you get kind of caught up in this like, okay, route to route to route without anything happening that's out of the ordinary for I think a little bit too long. Like you're almost almost I guess you're not. There's still a couple hours before you get to some point that you're like, all right, cool. I see what's going on here. There's more than just the gym battle.
And I'm not. I don't want to be overly critical of it. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep playing it. Definitely.
I tweeted this last week, but I still think it's so fucked up that Nurse Joy at the hospital, at the Poke Center, when you go there,
Hope to see you again.
And they're like, she's like, we've nursed your Pokemon back to perfect health. And it does the do. It's like, we hope to see you again. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, just like, welcome back to the
doctors
hospital.
don't say like, hey, you're leaving the hospital.
But
Hope
they
to see
know
you
this
again.
world. They are a Pokemon-based economy. And they know that you're fighting strangers, old men in the
Interesting.
woods, and they
Yeah.
know that you got to come back regardless.
Yeah.
Basically, you're just feeding them, right?
Yeah, just
That's
feeding
what the
Pokemon.
nurse is doing.
No.
Nursing them back to
Did
health.
you not
feeding
see
them.
the episode with Charmander?
Of course not.
Let me tell you what happened in this fucking episode, Greg. It's one of the most fucked up things of all time.
Sure.
When the cartoon got real emotional.
Sure.
They meet this fucking I think his name was like Devin or something.
Yeah,
in
Devin
the
Sawa.
forest. This guy Devin with a Charmander. Yeah, Devin Sawa was there,
Okay.
beating the shit out of his Charmander and just like abusing him, not healing him, fighting with him, yelling at him for not doing good enough.
So this like mean idle hands, Devin Sawa.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And this Charmander is just so sad. He's like, I just want you to like me. I just want you to be my friend.
Sounds like
and
me and
then,
Porty.
Charmander has a little fire on his tail.
course,
Right?
I do know that
he
part.
He gets caught out in the rain. Damien. His name's Damien. His trainer was fucking
Oh,
Damien.
that's he's gonna be a bad guy.
Yeah.
His name's Damien.
Damien, like Charmander loses a fight. So he leaves the Charmander on this little log and he's just like, I'll be back for you later. And he leaves and he doesn't come back. And this Charmander sits there for days
Does Ash
without
adopt
eating.
him?
He's like just waiting for his fucking trainer to come. It starts raining and his little tail's about to go out. And Ash finds him and is like, oh my God, and has to rush him to the hospital as his tail is like flickering out. And then it's this super intense scene that reminds me of the 1984 Transformers movie where Optimus Prime dies.
Yeah.
But
Does
Charmander's
Charmander
just
die?
sitting there. He doesn't die. He gets nursed back, and then Ash gets him, and then he evolves and doesn't
Does
listen
his
to Ash
chest
the whole
open
thing.
and he give the Matrix of Leadership to Ultra Magnus instead of the
it's-
rightful heir to the Matrix of Leadership, Rodimus
Rodimus
Prime?
Prime? No, that all doesn't happen. But
Okay.
anyway, it was real sad with Charmander.
No, I can
sounds
see
sad.
that getting that's kind of
Fuck
like the
Damien,
Shibuya
dude.
dog, right? Like the dog that lived outside the train station all those years waiting
Oh,
for
yeah,
his
yeah,
master
yeah.
to come back and never did.
Yeah, that's why there's a statue of him.
Yeah.
Some fucked up shit, man.
Okay, Pokemon fun.
Yeah.
That's Jared's review of the first few hours of Pokemon. Yeah, this is fun. I do like that there's no random battles because the random battles, while I enjoy them in some games, in Pokemon never really did it for me. So I'm having fun with this. I like that I'm just like, hey, walk up and hit some guy.
You still playing it all?
No, I mean, that'd be a plain game for me, and right now it's just
It ain't playing time.
holding
Yeah.
player till smash.
I feel
you know
you.
what I mean? I put what 10 hours in, 9 hours into it.
Somewhere there.
I get it. Again, like I think I see it. It's exactly what happens with me with every Pokemon game. Cool, I get it. Didn't get out of the first map or whatever. Still in that Kanto region.
Kanto?
DJ Kanto. Where did I start the game?
Kanto. In this game, you stay in Kanto.
You're saying
Oh, okay.
Kanto,
I
right?
thought I
Yeah.
got to a new map or something and got new gyms or something. Okay, yeah.
That's
So I did
Gold's
3 badges in 9 hours, and I mean, I don't feel drawn to go back to it, but I wouldn't be adverse to going back to it if it came up. But I probably should just keep them luminized.
Yeah, I think the
show.
problem
Nobody
is,
does
Tim, this is going to be the issue for me with this wonderful game, is that, did I do a bad thing?
Nah, I'm joking. Man.
Oh, did I
Fucking
interrupt you?
keep the show going. You're stopping the show.
Oh, no,
That's
what
a
did I
bad
do?
thing.
What did I do?
You're stopping the show. Keep talking. Tell him to him.
I'm terrified.
What did you want to tell
I
him,
don't
Petty?
remember anymore. As much as I enjoyed Pokemon, I got hooked on Monster Boy.
Yeah, tell me about
Ooh, what's
Monster Boy.
Monster Boy?
Okay, so Monster Boy, I did not expect to be as bowled over by as I was. You remember earlier this year, or I guess last year, there was a near launch title for the Nintendo Switch that was a remake of the Sega Master System Monster World game. The Wonder
No.
Boy 3?
I
No,
don't
you remember
this
this?
at
Never
all.
played
No,
this? Okay.
no.
So the Wonder Boy, you familiar with the Wonder Boy series?
I'm familiar with it coming out last year. And people liking it.
Okay,
That's
it goes all the way back to like mid 80s Japan. The series has been continually coming out, all different platforms, even different names. You ever played Adventure Island? Like with the skateboard guy on the NES?
No.
No? Okay, Adventure Island, that was a Wonder Boy game, sort of. The Monster World games, they're all connected to each other in this tumbleweed of incest.
Sure, gross.
But we got this incredible, wonderful remake of the Sega Master System game last year on the Switch. It was great. Beautiful, like hand-drawn animation style. But you could also on the fly dynamically switch it back to Master System graphics, then go back. It was so successful that it inspired the creation of an original new Monster World type game. And I am still fairly early in it, but wow, it's good. It feels like a way forward game.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it feels like one of those like great 2D platformers. with
Shantae?
Yeah, exactly. A lot like Shantae. I like it more than Shantae, frankly.
Oh, wow. Shantae's a good game.
Yeah, Shantae is a good game, but it's gorgeous, bright colors, beautiful animation. You have more powers than you seem like you do at the beginning, and they're constantly adding to your arsenal. You're quickly customizing. Semi-linear, Like lots of exploring in limited areas, and then gradually it opens up more and more and more toward that Metroid bent, but it eases you into it, but it never feels too easy. It's the kind of game that a kid could play that's very generous with checkpoints. So a kid could play, and they probably die a lot, but they get along. But a grown-up can play and find enough challenge and engagement to really get. It's a meaty game at this point. Beautiful enemies. It reminds me, did you ever play Monster Tale on DS?
No.
That
so many
really,
monsters.
Yeah, Monster Tale is this really cool like late DS platformer that I absolutely loved, and I am bowled over by this game. It's so good, I can't put it down.
Is it just a downloadable title, or is it?
I don't know if there's a retail version of it.
Is it full price retail?
It's a $40 game, which people are saying, "Hey, wait a minute, this is a retail 2D side-scrolling platformer. I'm used to paying $15 for these." I think that they're probably pretty well aware economically that they're only going to sell a certain number of them. In my opinion, and again, it's early, I can't give a full review. What I've played so far absolutely justifies the cost in terms of how much fun I'm having and in terms of how really gorgeous a game it is.
Nice.
There's a lot there, a lot going on. I really like it. And plus, it just lots of little creative things. Like usually in games, you fall in water and that's terrible and you're going to die and all that. And this game, you fall in water and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I got a way to start back over. But then you're like, oh, wait, I can put heavy boots on and fall through the hazard. And whoa, there's a whole other world down there with other stuff going on. I didn't know that. And then,
so is it more 2D platformer or is it more like Metroidvania?
A little of both. Somewhere right smack in between. It's really neat that way. It feels very much like both. Maybe kind of in the way the Messenger did closely, especially in the earlier parts. I adore it.
Wow.
I highly recommend it to both of you. It's a really good game.
How's the soundtrack?
I like the music a lot, and it's very bright and pingy and sprightly, and it's just like, hey, we're going off to have an adventure, and it feels adventure. And that's how the best Monster World game is Monster World 4. And this one reminds me a lot of that. The other best one, Dynastic Hero, this one reminds me, again, a lot of that.
Have you played all of these games?
I played most of them. They're kind of beloved in Japan. Like there's a cult following, and so they've been re-released in compilation packs. M2 did this great emulated pack of them that was released in Japan, for example. But they were on the Master System, the SG-1000, the NES has branches of them, and then there's like branches of the branches. There's this game about a monkey prince that's also based on Wonder Boy, that's also based on Adventure Island, and then there are Adventure Island games that aren't Wonder Boy games, and there are Wonder Boy games that aren't Monster World games, and there are Monster World games that aren't and it's really incestuous.
The Monster World cinematic universe.
You gotta love it. You brought up a game earlier, Adventure Island.
Yeah.
So there's this game that I played on Game Boy Color, I want to say. I want to say it was exclusive to Game Boy Color. I could be wrong about that. That I think was called Survivor Kids.
Oh, Survivor Kids. Yeah, Survival Kids. That's Konami.
What's the deal with that game? Because I remember being interested because it looked like Pokemon at a time that I was obsessed with.
It's so cool. Games. Survival Kids is great. Okay, so Survival Kids is about two kids that get washed up on a desert island and have to live. And it's a kind of a puzzle adventure exploratory game, where like you use the limited resources around you to survive. It's like really simple strategy and kind of almost that Minecrafty survival level going on, but also exploring and finding out the secrets of the island, and that's what it's about. It's a great game.
I remember playing it, and I never beat it. It hit a point where I was just like, I'm a little too lost, and like it wasn't straightforward enough for me. I was a dumbass kid, but it was around the same time like I fell in love with Pokemon in like 98 and got my first taste of like RPGs and all that. And then it was right around the time I got that, and then there was Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
Oh, I love those
and
games.
like those games were amazing, and I feel like those were just brilliant examples of how a game should progress in terms of pacing and in terms of teaching you new abilities and stuff, and having the world kind of open up in front of you. Whereas playing Survival Kids, whatever it was the total opposite. Where I'm like, they don't give a fuck. Like they're just dropping you here, not really explaining things, not explaining how items work together. It felt like a top-down Zelda game, but mixed with elements that I don't like of traditional adventure games.
One of the reasons I like Minute is Minute is a lot like Survival Kids with all the crap taken out. Like that's why I keep harping on Minute.
Was Survival Kids good?
I think so. Yeah, actually, I really enjoy it, but it is obtuse in places. Now, you mentioned the Zelda games. Did you know Capcom made those?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
flagship. Those and Minish Cap, both.
Did you know that?
Zelda games?
Yeah. Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages and Minish Cap were all flagship. That's all Capcom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And originally
Was there
going to be 3 of them.
Was there a logo on the box and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Capcom straight up was involved.
It was published by Nintendo.
That's the weirdest thing about Nintendo when you like look back at that time specifically. I'd say like somewhere around from Game Boy Color all the way through GameCube, their partnerships with random ass people, I guess it continues to this day. But
Intelligent Systems.
Yeah.
You think of they're effectively a second party. You look at Team Ninja they partnered with on one.
but like Star Fox Assault on GaMcube was Namco.
Right.
And then
Well, Star Fox originally
F-Zero.
they farmed out to what was that group? The guy Dylan Cuthbert. That was the guy that did X for the Game Boy. Did that.
and then F-Zero GX on GameCube was Sega.
Well, Nintendo was not that big a company. Today, Nintendo was not that big in terms of manpower, a company. There are not that many people, relatively speaking, that work at Nintendo.
It's crazy to even look at Smash Bros. I remember when they first announced that Smash 4 on the Wii U and 3DS
Namco.
was going to be with Bandai Namco, and I was worried about that. I was just like, dude, I trust Nintendo. I do not trust you guys, even though you have Soul Calibur, you have Tekken, like you've proven yourselves. But like this Smash is different, you know. And I was also worried they were gonna like shoehorn in a bunch of bullshit into the game, and they didn't, you know. And it was
Nintendo still pays close attention, obviously.
Yeah,
They're still
they
on
do.
top of everything. Same thing with the Zelda. I'm way too tired, guys. Destiny Dynasty Warriors.
Oh,
Hyrule
yeah.
Warriors.
I mean, like
Warriors,
obviously
yeah.
they're going to pay
Koei,
super
Tecmo,
close
right.
attention to that, and
Yeah.
be there to make sure it feels
it's
like
cool
a Zelda
shit,
game.
man.
Yeah, I mentioned Team Ninja earlier, and Metroid wasn't good, but my impression of Other M was that was Nintendo's decision that made it not good, is my understanding about that
I mean,
game.
oh my God, Metroid Other M, dude, E3, I don't remember what year that was, but like 2009.
That was the
I think
same
it was
year
2009.
as the Vitality Sensor.
And it was the same year as Vitality Sensor, but it was also the same year as Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
There was a lot of bad news in that conference. There was a
Yeah.
lot of amazing announcements and news. I'll never forget seeing Galaxy 2 and being like, they're fucking doing it. Like, we've had to wait 6 years for Mario games, and now they're just giving us a
And
sequel.
you see Yoshi.
And you're like Yoshi in 3D proper, not the fucking weird Sunshine version. But the thing that blew my mind was Metroid Other M. At that point, we didn't know it was going to be bad. At that point, was
Remember
the
me?
best thing ever.
Yes. It
Because
was
like I know that's a meme and it's dumb now, but like watching that trailer when it fucking starts off and it was clear it was Metroid, and then it says Team Ninja.
Yeah.
I was just like, and this is fresh off of like Ninja Gaiden and all that. I, as a fucking Nintendo fanboy that was like ride or die for the like even at the Wii, just hoping we were gonna get some hardcore titles. I was like losing my mind, and then I played it at E3 the next year. And I was
If
like,
they could
I
have
saw
cut, if they
the
could have cut the
baby Metroid.
dialogue and the cutscenes out of that game, the action sections of that game are great.
the action sections are great. The controller was not great. The story was horrible, and the character
Yeah.
development was backwards.
Yeah, I was fine with the controller and the switch off missile thing. That I was good with that actually. I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
Now
I'm
you
not,
think?
I'm not a big Wiimote guy.
Yeah, I get that,
Yeah, Wiimote with nunchuck, I'm down with.
but not Wiimote
Just a
by
Wiimote.
itself.
Nah, it never felt comfortable to hold sideways. Like it felt like it was holding a remote control.
Oh,
sideways.
even with like NES games and stuff, actually, I was very comfortable with it. I really liked it.
I
What about
mean,
you, Greg?
with the triggers and stuff? Didn't like that.
I mean, the Wiimote, I was fine with it, but I mean, like, how much were we using the Wiimote? You know what I mean? I was playing it for here or there kind of stuff when the exclusives dropped that I needed. I hated Mario Galaxy with it. I always wanted a real controller with that, which I know
I
the whole
loved
shake thing. But
Mario
Mario
Galaxy
Galaxy, I just didn't like doing that. I don't know. I was never. I liked the idea of it. I remember being so excited at the announcement of the Wii. It's something brand new. It's so crazy. What is it going to be? And then here and there using it, it was fine. But I don't know. Like I don't feel like I have strong opinions about it.
I see. That's an interesting one for me. I didn't work. I was a freelancer at that point. And
Yeah.
we'd never met during the apex of the Wii's lifetime. But I think I'm one of the few people in this part of the industry that love the Wii. Like to this day, I would rather play Wii than play a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360 from that generation. I like the library of games better. I like the controls better. I prefer it. It is, after a PC and the DS Lite, my favorite way to play video games.
That is so crazy. Well, I mean, I guess because the virtual console on Wii was spectacular at the end of the day.
The
looking
virtual
back
console
on it.
was, and there was a library of about, people talk about the library saying you can put about 50 really solid games together on the Wii. If you
Boom
just
Blocks.
look at every
Boom
Boom Blocks is great.
So fucking fun. I'll never forget though, Jared. One of my first Jared Petty stories ever totally fits into this, where we were doing a project at IGN. I think it was like top 100 Nintendo games of all time or something like that. And I was in charge of producing it, so I had to work with everybody to do gameplay capture and then do a interview with everybody about whatever the game.
Their favorite
It was
game.
the top 125, I think.
Game,
Right? 125 years, 125 games.
Yeah. And me and you did a video for New Super Mario Bros. Not you.
Yeah,
New
just
Super Mario Bros.
Wii. Yeah.
And you were saying that it at that point was your favorite Mario game, and I was like, "You're a fucking moron."
No, I think so.
I was so mad at you.
Yeah.
Like that video exists somewhere, like on IGN, not somewhere.
It's
but
out there someplace. Yeah.
Yeah. And like we're talking about it, and you were explaining why you liked it, and it totally made sense because it was like a perspective that I just never had. Because you really liked the co-op stuff. You really liked, getting into that, and that was the game that introduced that side of Mario, which is super fun, super great. It's not what I ever cared about as the actual, like, what am I thinking of this game being? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I 3-starred every level of that game through all 9 worlds co-op.
Damn.
And that is an experience.
Yeah.
It is great. Honestly, I think Wii U may be a better game.
It is.
And
definitively.
but that one is my favorite. I think Mario 3, when you're talking about greatness, is obviously the most influential of all of them. But I think that's my favorite. What's yours? I'm curious.
My favorite Mario, it's for my whole life, it's been Mario World.
Yeah.
But as I
great
get
game.
older and I replay them over and over and over, I really think 3 might take it.
Yeah.
And it's like one day I want to do a definitive breakdown where I want to like do a
Mario
real
rankings.
in-depth thing of looking at 3 in World and interviewing a bunch of people, getting to the bottom of this. What is the better game?
Sidebar on that: how is there still not a Sun level on Smash Brothers? The Mario 3
That's
Sun.
interesting, yeah.
How has that not happened? I've heard that
Yeah.
so many times, and I cannot figure out why that has not occurred.
God,
where the
that'd be
sun's
so
flaming down
annoying.
to kill you. Also, we need to write an injustice here, Tim. You
Yeah.
were the producer on that project. At that time, I pushed very hard for Joy McFight, the Nintendo fighting classic for
Yeah.
the Famicom, to be somewhere on that list. Low, I
Of
understood.
125 games.
Of 125 games, because I looked at some of the things we put on there toward the tail end of that list, and Joy McFight's better than those games.
Yeah. To be clear,
And I was-
producer at IGN did not mean I had anything to do
You
with
did
the
not
list.
choose that. But a grave injustice was done, and I was told by a very kind gentleman who disagreed with me and was in charge of the project that it could be number 126 in my heart.
Damn. Oh, get fucked, dude.
Ouch.
Yeah. All I got to say is Joy McFight, freaking great fighting game. 36 playable fighters, 28 unique movesets, a good 2-controller button fighter on the NES of all things. Who knew it could happen? But it can. Great game. What's your favorite Mario?
Oh, Super Mario World.
Yeah,
Hands
that's
down.
a good choice.
Yeah.
So damn good.
Fantastic.
It's hard to argue with.
Bought an
Mario
SNES for it.
World. No shoe.
Played the only game I ever played on it, Super Mario World.
That was it?
Yep, played that back every night. I'd come home and play that and listen to Pinkerton backwards and forwards and front, upside down, just left and right. I can't hear.
Why was that it, though?
I can't hear I can't hear Pinkerton and not think of Mario, and I can't play Mario and not think of Pinkerton.
Fascinating.
Mario World. Why was that the one? It was already past.
Sorry, why was it the only game you played on Super Nintendo?
Because it was already past that point, I think, where I think we were already through. Because I was going to my friend Matt's house one summer. We'd go fishing every day, and then we'd come back to his house, and he had an SNES in the basement, and he had Mario World, and I would just play. I don't think I was playing it contemporary. I think we were already on to the next generation. Like, I already had the next generation of consoles. I probably already had my fucking Sega Saturn or whatever. And it was the idea that he just had this thing in his basement that he didn't give a shit about. You know what I mean? And I would just fuck around with it to the point. And then when school started up again, I was like, I gotta keep. I mean, I already beaten at Matt's house. I'm like, I gotta keep playing this game. I want to find every secret. I want to get every weird green block or whatever. So I went to Funkoland, traded in a bunch of stuff, got an SNES, and Mario came back, and that's all I ever played on it.
I often talk about this
Because it was already the one that was like yellowed. It had already yellowed that
Oh,
SNES.
okay.
That's like it was old. You know what I mean?
It was old.
Yeah, I've told this story before, but I'll try to add some new twists to it. But I often think about how lucky I am to have grown up with video games at the time that I did.
Sure.
Because when I was 4, 5, 6, even like going to Kevin's house, like I'd get glimpses of video games here and there, but we didn't have our own console at home.
Yeah.
But it'd be like my cousin's house, and like that's where I first saw Mario 3, or like Kevin's cousin's house. I'm like, oh, this is what Sonic the Hedgehog is. It's like you just get these like kind of little glimpses of what's out there. But the first game that I own, my mom got me a Super Nintendo that came with the Mario All-Stars Plus World card,
wow.
which is the greatest game of all time.
The greatest cartridge
single
ever made.
cartridge of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But it's like my introduction to Mario in a real way, of where at any moment I could sit down and play, not just, oh, I'm at my friend's house, like glimpses here and there, was Mario All-Stars Plus World, which essentially meant that at one moment, Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario Japan, Mario 3, Mario World were all equally the same thing to me. Where I was just like hopping back and forth between all of them. Like if you growing up, if you asked me like, what's the Mario theme song? I wouldn't be able to give you one answer because it's like all of them were so equal in my mind. Yeah, like that was just as valid as the.
That makes perfect sense.
And like it wasn't until years later that I look back at that, I'm just like, holy shit.
That's
like,
a good
to
introduction.
be able to jump through those games back and forth.
No
these
wonder
games,
you're
like,
here right now.
I know.
That would do that to you.
Exactly. And it was such fucking magic.
Yeah, I remember going to my friend Travis's house growing up for the first time, and I'd already had the Master System and played a ton, and walked in, and they were playing Mario, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Oh, really?
Like, what the hell is this guy?
Wait,
He's running around,
this guy?
they're running around throwing fireballs. I'm like, this sucks. Let's play Ghost House.
After Ghost House,
Yeah.
that was your reaction to Mario?
Well, that's it. Well, you know how kids are. You got to immediately get fights about everything.
Yeah, I think it was Jeremy Paris said his neighbor who had Master System was always trying to tell him how it was more better.
Of course.
That was very
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
You had a Saturn. I didn't know you had a Saturn.
Yeah, that's the one that broke me.
Oh, okay.
Because we got the story goes that I put on my Christmas list I wanted an N64. And my mom looked at it and was like, you always been a Sega kid. Are you sure you don't want that new Sega system? I was like, you know what, Mom? Yeah, let's be loyal. And that was it. Put me back on the track, and we got that Saturn. And like,
Dude, to be fair, Sega Saturn, and again, I was a dumbass kid, and especially during this time, like when Saturn came out, I think I was 6, maybe 7. When Saturn come out? Was
Saturn
95?
came out in 95, late 90 or mid 95.
So I was 5 or 6. And I remember at Toys R Us seeing it and like everything about it, the logo and just like how it looked. It's like, this is cool.
it was super
It's
cool.
like what you
They're
think of
showing
Sonic.
you, they're
it's
showing
like,
you
oh, you're
Knights.
cool.
They're showing you
And I
Knights.
fucking loved Knights. I've only played the demo of Knights time and time and time again when I'd go to Toys R Us. And for years, I wanted to play it. And Saturn was the one system that couldn't be emulated.
Right. It's so hard to emulate Saturn.
some reason.
People have made progress on it
Now they can, but like
yeah.
10 years ago when I first got a computer and like
freaking
learned
pain.
I can go back and just like download
Get anything,
shit.
yeah.
I couldn't get Knights, and I was so mad. I'm like, it was that in my head, it was the perfect game.
Oh, sure.
You know, and then eventually they released the sequel on Wii,
Which is bad.
And
I know
I
that.
played it, and I'm like, oh no.
Well, you know the Knights is on Xbox Arcade, like, and it's a very good version
yeah,
of it.
and then later I went back and played it. The game wasn't what I thought. You know
So,
what I mean?
so Saturn had a great library. Saturn succeeded despite itself. Like it was an importer's paradise. And a lot of the best games, unfortunately, only come out in Japan. But still here in the States, we got some really solid stuff on the Saturn. It was just terribly mismarketed. It's too bad. It had a lot of great games.
Yeah. It eventually dried up, and that was the problem.
Yeah,
right?
they just
didn't get the support.
because it did well in
Japan.
Japan. It just did terrible
Yeah.
here, and they couldn't survive on that one market,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Going back to it real quick though, Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Ages, like those to me seem like Greg Miller-ass games.
Yeah.
Like they're just like elements
Which is
about them.
so these would stick with me. These were DS games.
Nope.
No.
Game Boy games.
Game Boy games.
Game Boy Color games. as well?
They would work in black and white, I
Okay.
believe, and they also had color added. I
Yeah,
think, if
yeah.
I remember right, they'd work in both.
So the idea with it was there was
check that
fucking wow, what's the first one?
Oracle
Link's
of
Awakening.
Seasons,
Link's
or-
Awakening on Game Boy, right?
Yeah.
So this is in the style of that game, but Capcom helped make it, and it was kind of like Pokemon Red and Blue, where there's 2 versions of the same game.
I remember comic book ads.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Yeah.
One was red, one was blue. Entirely different games, though. Oracle of Seasons was way more action focused, and Oracle of Ages was way more puzzle and dungeon focused. And you'd have to play through both of them, which would unlock more content at the end.
Gotcha.
Originally, there was going to be a 3rd game, and it was going to be like the Triforce.
Nice.
So, but then they're going
It was Game Boy Color.
Okay, cool.
I was trying to remember if that one played in color or not, but I was getting it mixed up with Link's Awakening.
But there's fantastic fucking games. Like those are games I would love to see on the Switch.
Those are games that would be fantastic on the Switch, and I think if they ever decide to expand their library of like whatever they're going to stream, that the Game Boy Color would be almost perfect for the Switch. So I figure they'll probably go there with it.
Yeah.
I think we'll see.
What
those
makes
games
it a Greg
again.
Miller esque game?
Go ahead.
I just think that like knowing your sensibilities when it comes to those type of games, when
Yeah.
it comes to like the action adventure, especially when we're talking retro style things.
Yeah.
I feel like Oracle of Seasons and Ages, especially because they both have the action side or the puzzle side, like being able to choose which one you want to do first,
Yeah.
I think is a really,
Gotcha.
it just seems like up your alley.
Sure, that sounds cool.
And it's like when it comes to Zelda of like what I know of what you like about Zelda and don't like about Zelda,
Yeah.
this just seems like it's a simple, small enough title that like if it were to come out, like I think that you'd enjoy playing through.
It's also the closest Zelda to the original Zelda since, like, other than Breath of the Wild. So
Okay.
Oracle of Seasons in particular really feels like a like a really parsed and well refined version of the original Legend of Zelda.
If I loved Link Between Worlds, would I love this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Honestly, I feel like they're in the similar veins.
Gotcha.
Where it's like Link Between Worlds is a bit more open of like choose your path.
Sure,
and all
yeah.
that
Which
shit.
dungeon you want to start on?
Seasons is pretty open.
Yeah, it's a big world, but
And then there's the cool thing that
God,
if
I
you
wanna
beat
play
them
them.
both, then there's a secret third that you can only access by beating
tight.
them both. And the final dungeon can only be accessed by beating both games.
Gotcha.
Which is really cool.
enough of this old shit.
Old game's old?
Greg,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the DLC.
That's right.
Oh.
I got into it last night, got out of it last night. Beat it.
okay.
I put in, I
Gotcha.
think I took the game clock from 83 hours, 84 hours to 88, 89. I think 89 is
They
where I
had that
stopped off.
robot owl from Clash of the Titans.
No, we haven't seen him yet, but I'm holding out hope or whatever. Yeah, what is it? Legacy of the Blade, I think is the official title. Is that right? You got a computer. Check it for me. I'm pretty sure it's Legacy of the Blade. Episode 1 for this one. It's more Assassin's Creed, which is all I want.
Okay.
All I want to do is do more in that world. It is not a new map. It is the same map. They've added more stuff to it. It is, as a Assassin's Creed Odyssey nut, it is super fun to jump in and have all these new orange exclamations on there and see all the, because it's
New
usually yellow.
new interesting
usually yellow.
quests, like good story
Of course,
quests, like
of
you've
course.
enjoyed.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Is that Darius is there.
Yeah.
He's got the Assassin's Blade. This is the first time we've seen this Assassin's Blade because Cassandra doesn't have one, or Alexios, depending on who you play as. So that's popping up. With him, he was a bodyguard of the king of Persia. Some things went down there. He's been on the run for years. His son's there with him. They're on the run. There's this order of the ancients that they're after as well too. That have now they've basically brought the fight to you. That's coming there, and they know who you are as Cassandra. The reputation of the Eagle Bearer has gone that far that they know that you're a threat and you're part and you're on their system. You're their radar too.
Legacy of the
okay.
First Blade Hunted.
Legacy of the First Blade. Thank you. Hunted.
You've talked a lot about enjoying the side quest storylines. Does it add a lot of that kind of stuff to it, or is it
No, it's
mostly
the same
just
thing as
okay.
always. Yeah, where you walk up to people and they've got little interesting tidbits and
Cool.
interesting personalities, and I'm invested in what I'm doing for them. And
Rad.
it's the same thing as just playing Assassins as I do. I was all right, go do this, and to get this one thing. Well, I'm here already. I'll clear out this entire fortress as well. Do that, and so then on the map it pops up of whether by the fate of the gods or just because she was feeling the anger that day, Cassandra's already completed this quest. She just has to come here and bring it to the person. But I go there and the same thing as always. All I'm doing now is I don't even have your quest yet, but I know it's on my radar to get it because it's a side mission. I've already gotten whatever item you needed or whatever. But when I get to you, I listen to your entire story. I could just circle through it all and give you the thing and get my bonus and leave. But what is your story? Well, this is interesting. We're looking for this dead guy's stuff. Yeah, okay, I'm in. Your brother. Oh yeah, I did know your brother. Oh yeah, okay. And it's the same thing as always where they're asking me things and I actually remember the character, which is like the highest compliment I can pay of that game. Of I remember Darius's name right the next day because he's an assassin. Okay, cool. This happened. Okay, cool. Everybody's like, do you really know him though? I'm like, all right, so there's gonna be something in this of whatever. But play through and it's awesome. The fighting's awesome and it's exactly what I want. It's more trophies in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's what I want.
What's
more to
the
do.
DLC plan for Odyssey?
There's more of it. There's 3 episodes in this first thing, and I think then there's another major expansion. I think this is the first major expansion. Then there's another major expansion next time.
Video
next
games
year.
are fucking crazy, man.
Video games are.
Especially talking about all those old things a second ago. It's like to think now that it's like that's just what happens. You get this giant, meaty single player game.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like there is more coming, and it's like
Although the
regular
counter argument
increments.
would be that back in the day they just wouldn't have released the game until these parts were part of it too.
But it's like that's
New Game Pluses, things like that. That was there's that too.
yeah.
Oh, what I do?
Nothing. No, I hear you, and I'm with you, Tim. Of them, I can't believe. Yeah, there's just so much more to do in this, and the way they're doling it out. And they just put up their video today of the December update of what all you can expect out of this game. And it's like basically some other stuff, the stuff we already have. This is being the major DLC, the reminder of the mercenary stuff they've updated. Because we've talked about that before, right? Where you can take ability points now and apply them into your mercenary abilities or whatever. Mm-hmm. We've talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I got to do that last night and be totally geek out, and of course do the thing that I normally wouldn't, but I'm so into of pay the money to reset all my skills, go in and only give them to the ones I really need, then go in and pour them all in here and keep going. And then there's a new ability included with this DLC that I went through and then got and did all this stuff. It's just such a joy to play that game and to go through. And I can't compliment them enough on the way they are supporting it. They're like even today they're just like tossed in the December update that there's another quest that's going to pop up and you can go chase, and like just those little things and the fact that they did the whole clothing thing that I've talked about before. I am just like last night, starting this thing, it was like very much kind of like Spider-Man, right? Of like, all right, let's mix and match. Let's see the new outfit. Let's get a new outfit on Cassandra and see what it is, and changing up colors and trying to match it and trying to make it look cool so that as I play through and it feels cool.
I think it was the Ask Kind of Funny Gamescast anything for this month that went out. One of the questions was like, what's something that you just want to see go away in video games, or something that you want instituted always? Remember that?
Yeah.
And that's totally my answer.
Yeah.
Is every game should give you the ability to mix and match the stat boost with costumes. Like, I loved in Spider-Man it lets you do that. It's just like,
so get
the armors
boost you
come
want,
with the boost, but then you can apply the boost to any outfit you want to wear, because it's always like the worst.
And the way they've been so responsive to the community, the Assassin's Creed community, I see that only getting better, right? Like, because I think now that they've introduced the ability of like, well, it's brushed bronze or worn silver or whatever to make the outfits look different. I totally expect that January, February, somewhere in those monthly updates, it's going to be just color them however you want. You know what I mean? We finally put in a shader here, and you can just make it look exactly how you want to make it look, and then go through and screw around that way.
So awesome.
Sounds absolutely bodacious.
They killed it, man. They're killing it.
How have they done on sales? Do you know? I haven't seen sales data around this.
I haven't seen data. You're right, but I think it seems like they've been happy.
Okay,
I mean, it's definitely found an audience for sure. It's definitely getting critical acclaim.
Most people I know are playing it.
Yeah. I think they've done really well in a year that people were like, why is there an Assassin's Creed immediately a year later? Why is there an Assassin's Creed that's trying to be The Witcher? Why is there an Assassin's Creed that's going up against Red Dead? Like, no, I think I would think, be very happy with what they found.
Okay, I wonder.
Just based on scuttlebutt. I have no real thing to back that up.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey sales outperform rest of series on current console generation.
Nice.
I can't, and I mean, it's such, it deserves it so much. You know what I mean? Because I play that game and it is just like, man, I know it's one of those games you play, and as I'm playing it, I'm like, I'm having such a good time. Like, you know what I mean? Nice. And like, last night it was there's one trophy from not this DLC, but DLC they've put out, or updates they put out since the game came out, that I need to knock out to have all the current trophies. And it's just like, I could do it. I'm going to go to bed. I'm already exhausted. You know what I mean? It was fun to be a normal person last night, play video games. I have not had a normal night in quite a while with all the showcase stuff. But yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I totally recommend it.
Before we move on, 2 questions for you.
Sure.
One, did you tickle me on the leg like 5 minutes ago?
I don't think so. I swung my foot, and that's when you're like, what? And I must have grazed you,
so
maybe?
my leg is like I think I've got maybe I'm having a stroke right now.
No,
or something.
it
That
doesn't
may
go
be
to the
it.
legs. It doesn't.
Second, your sweater. This entire time you've been talking, I've been listening to you. But all I want to do, you have this awesome like Christmas PlayStation sweater on.
Sure, PSX last year.
I
Rest in
keep
peace.
thinking of GTA button codes.
Sure.
And I'm wanting to press
You can press my buttons anytime. You can press my buttons anytime, sure. Ooh.
Thank you.
That's
All right,
invincibility.
there we are. I've been trying to get that out of my system.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Movement Watches. Greg,
Yeah.
you know they make watches.
I do.
They also make sunglasses.
They do, and I
you
use
love
them all the time.
sunglasses?
If you see a photo of me in sunglasses out at a vacation spot or doing something other than professional wrestling kind of stuff, I am wearing my movement
What a
sunglasses.
statement.
Yeah.
Our lives are such
If you see me in a cutoff t-shirt, I'm usually wearing sunglasses. I don't mind smashing.
Yeah,
I mind smashing my movement sunglasses.
I love wearing them. Gia loves wearing hers. Cool, Greg? You love wearing that watch, right? What watch you got? Show the people. Show the people. Can you do that?
No.
No? Get over here. I want people to see your rose gold watch making you look big ballin'. And also Andy. Andy's been talking about having a lot of issues looking at computer screens and all that stuff recently. As much as we love our screens, the fact is they're
that
draining
is
on your
nice.
eyes. So check out Movement's Ever Scroll glasses that protect your eyes from harmful blue light so you can keep on gaming. You also look great doing it. The Ever Scroll lenses come in a lot of different frames and styles, so there's a list for everybody. There's a fit for everybody. That's the thing. Movement, ton of different options. We always talk about their quality construction, their styled minimalism. It's all true. All the rumors are true.
Every last one.
Every last one of them. Movement watches start at just $95. You're looking at $400 to $500 for the same quality from traditional brands. Movement did all the hard work this holiday season, so you wouldn't have to. And they make awesome gift boxes and packages. If you need help giving the perfect gift this season, but don't know where to start, the guys over at Movement Watches got your back. They've curated all your favorite styles into special gift boxes for you, so you can absolutely crush this holiday season without the added stress. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/kinda. Movement's launching new styles on their site all the time. Check out the latest at mvmt.com. Go to mvmt.com/kinda. Join the movement. Jared,
Yes, sir.
it's been 3 weeks in the making now, but it is time for Mobile Gamer Bullshit.
I feel like at this point, there's so much buildup that we cannot possibly meet expectations. So, it's a very standard 7-question mobile gamer bullshit today. Mobile game or game dev? There are a lot of game development studios in this world. Some larger than others.
Sure.
You got game
What a
development
good
studios that are
lead
one
into
person.
the showcase, the
There
Kind
we
of Funny
go.
Game Showcase, which if you're watching on
I
Monday
fucked
is
up.
already
No, I
live. You can watch it.
There we go.
On youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. And if you're watching on Monday, it's on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. If you're watching before Monday, it's Saturday, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames.
I'm going to give a shout in the intro.
Okay. And I'd like to call out that with 2.5 days to spare, we are asset locked. We have all the assets
We
for
do?
a Kind of Funny showcase. The
Keep
final,
it asset
the final
locked.
one has crossed the finish line.
Wow.
Yes.
Woo! Keep it asset locked.
Keep it asset locked.
That's right. Beautiful. Gentlemen, 7 questions here on mobile game or game developer. Friends, you can play along at home, and we hope that you will. Some of these are mobile games you can play on your iPhone or Android device. Others, development studios. One is both.
This is where they always get me to.
All right,
Where I
here we
get
go.
got cool, Greg.
Starting today with perpetual loser, Tim Gettys.
Tis I, a.k.a.
Okay. Smashing Kitty,
Smashing Kitty.
mobile game or development studio?
Man.
And by the way, when I say studio, understand that could just be one person that uses that name as their brand.
Oh.
So it may, that could be 1-2 guys in a garage. That could be a 100-person
Dev.
development studio. Smashing Kitty is a dev. Greg Miller.
You said Dev?
Greg Miller says
Mobile game.
mobile game. Both of you thinking through your PR emails,
Oh, God.
trying to decide. All right, here we go. Number 2, Greg Miller, Pixel Tree.
Pixel Tree is most definitely a developer.
Developer.
I'm going Dev.
Developer. Number 3, Skyhoppers. Tim Gettys, Skyhoppers.
That's a game.
Mobile game.
Yeah.
Jared, I hate to agree with Tim Gettys because he's a dirtbag, but it is a mobile game.
Mobile game. Number 4, Mad Aces.
Ooh, that is a mobile game. And right now, my lead run for double.
I'm going mobile game.
Going mobile game.
Stop copying me.
Number 5, Tim Gettys, Ivory Tower.
Ooh,
Dev.
Developer.
mobile game.
Mobile game. Number 6, Omega Force.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah, Greg Miller, Omega Force.
Shit. We're gonna say fuck. Mobile game.
Mobile game.
Mobile game.
Mobile game. Number 7, Ghost Games. Or
You tricky little bitch.
Ghost Games. Is it Ghost Games or Ghost Games?
Greg Miller's so confused.
Ghost Games.
I get what
or
you're saying.
Ghost Games. Or quite possibly
Oh,
both.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, who's doing this one?
You.
Tim Gettys.
Ghost games. Mobile game.
Mobile game.
Developer.
Developer.
Hosted a conference for them.
Fine.
I'm kidding around.
Finally, which one's both? Greg Miller.
I'll tell you what, Jared. As usual, you've outdone yourself. Where Mad Aces sounds like it, Ghost Games I could see being it, Omega Force I could see being it, but I can only pick one. I'm eliminating Mad Aces and I'm going Omega Force. I believe Ghost Games is too on the nose to be. You know what I mean?
What a detective. What a
Yeah.
detective.
I just like to walk you through my. A lot of people are like, Greg, we've never seen someone come in and be the Babe Ruth of mobile gamer bullshit like you have. You know what I mean?
Just called the shot.
I've had 2 perfect games, I believe. And time is a construct I don't recognize anymore.
I'm going Mad Aces.
Mad Aces.
Mad Aces.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Number 1, Smashing Kitty. That's a mobile game.
Boom! Greg gets it. Tim gets nothing.
this
Number 2, Pixel Tree. That's a mobile game.
Oh, neither of us get anything there. Wow. We were both wrong.
1-0, Greg Miller. Number 3, Skyhoppers. Mobile game.
Both get a point there.
All right, so what's the score here? 2-1?
It is 2-1, Greg Miller.
Number 4, you guys both answered the same here, right?
Yeah, Mad Aces.
Mad Aces. Mobile game. Well done.
Oh, we both get a point there.
Kind of sounds like a studio.
Good
but
job.
Mobile game.
Damn it.
That it was your daily
That was
double,
my
so we'll
vote.
see you at the end if you get another point there.
Number 5, Ivory Tower.
Ivory Tower. We have a split here. I say mobile game. Tim says developer.
Ivory Tower, developer.
Oh
Yes!
no!
Yes! It's time,
All
bitch.
tied up with
It's
2 to go.
3
But there's
all.
also the double up here. Number 6, Omega Force.
We both said mobile game.
And it is a mobile game.
We are tied at 4. That was my daily double though, so I still have a shot. Add an extra point there.
Number 7, Ghost Games.
This is down to
Or
the wire. We're
Ghost
split.
Games.
I say developer. Tim says mobile.
Developer.
Oh, and there you go. I got the early lead here, but the game is
But
still in play.
there's still-
The bomb is in play, as
Right
Ben
now it's
Affleck would
5-4.
Oh.
say. Yeah.
But if Mad Aces is in fact also,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's Omega Force. Greg Miller was right.
Greg is the winner. 1-6-4. Tim sucks.
I hate it.
Form screwed up when they gave him the thing, and I should be verified on Instagram.
Oh, man.
Play
Ladies
the
and
real
gentlemen,
song, Cool Greg. Give me my winner's parade. Let's for a second though call out how fucking impressive the daily double get is.
Yeah.
All right, you know what I mean?
Dude,
there
Omega
I
Force,
am.
like, it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you did a great job. There's
As
some
usual.
real good
As
ones on
usual.
this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for this very special episode of the Kind of Funny Gamescast, episode 199. The prelude to next week's episode.
Number 200.
Number 200.
Where we celebrate our live show and celebration from Madison Square Garden.
Yes, that is what MSG, baby.
That's right.
MSG.
Yep.
I know that many of you will be playing Super Smash Brothers Ultimate this weekend, and for that, I'm very, very happy, very excited that we're all going to get to play together as a unit. It's a very special time in all of our lives.
G-Unit.
It's not often the new Smash Brothers comes into our lives, so enjoy this. Let it rain over you, and beat the shit out of your friends.
Damn.
Okay? Until then, I love you. Hope you liked that episode. If you did, click here to subscribe to Kind of Funny Games. Click there to subscribe to Kind of Funny. Click here to support us on Patreon, and click there for whatever Cool Greg wants to put there.